Hello everybody and welcome to Outrival Racing and our series, So You Want to Be a Triathlete. In today's episode, I will be presenting on So You Want to Be a Successful Triathlete. My name is Sarah Hankla. I am an Outrival Racing expert level coach and also the group coordinator for the team. QT2 Systems and Outrival Racing, we are two teams in one business, so that's a little bit of background there. Over the years, I've been with Outrival Racing since almost the beginning, I believe 2011, so going on 5 years now. I've worked with quite a few athletes, all levels, beginners, mid-level, very advanced athletes in all different distances. And at the end of, the venture, I would say that most of the folks that I've worked with have walked away deeming themselves a successful triathlete, or, maybe they're still working with me and they have earned quite a bit of success in their eyes. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. So let's go ahead and get started. So, you want to be a successful triathlete? Well, of course you do. Whatever we spend our precious time and energy doing, including the sport of triathlon, of course, at the end of the day, we want to say we were successful at it. Our time is precious and very valuable. So whatever you choose to take on, you want to be successful at. So how exactly do you earn success in triathlon? Let's start with the big picture, and we'll work backwards into the nitty-gritty. There are 5 main areas at Outrival Racing that we focus on when we are, either working with a brand new athlete, taking them on, or working with an existing athlete just going into a new season. I mean, every season you want to sort of readdress goals and what's worked in the past, and maybe what you want to change and what you want to focus on. So we do this constantly with our athletes. And so there's 5 main areas, like I said, big picture, and then it flows down into smaller details. The first one would be, of course, you have to define success for you. What exactly does that look like? And then you got to come up with a big picture plan. So how are we going to achieve those successes? What does that plan look like? And third, of course, our favorite, we have to train. We have to put that plan into action and train. And then fourth is the fun part. You get to execute on race day. And then lastly, there's this mental component that's woven into sort of everything we do as athletes, and is really a big part of the training and the execution piece. So we will address that as well. So those are the 5 main areas, and we will now go through and step through each of those 5 areas in detail. So first, like I said, we got to define success. What exactly does that mean for you? For some athletes, it's sometime in my career, I want to finish an Ironman. Or, sometime this season, with my first race around the corner, I want to swim that race without panicking, without having the gun go off and my heart rate just skyrocket and me just panic at the thought of having to swim across this open body of water. So I really want to do that. Or at the other end of the spectrum, maybe you're an athlete and you want to break 2 hours in an Olympic distance race and you're really going after your pro card. So as you can see, success is relative to you. What exactly does it mean and look like for you? So decide on that and think about it when you've got success, your overall success on a, long-term scale, and you got your success of each season, and then you've got your goals that add up to those successes. So think about when you're setting smaller goals, make them smart, make them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I'm sure you guys have all heard about this before in your careers or schooling. When you come to me and you say, I want to swim faster, I would say, be more specific. What does faster mean to you? Is that 5 seconds faster or what? So really put these measures around it, the metrics around it. So define them, write it down, and let it become your focus. And remember to involve your coach in the process if you're working with one. So there you go. That's defining success, step 1. Okay, so next we've got step number 2, and that is our big picture plan. So once we've defined success, we've got to dive into, okay, how do we plan this out to be able to achieve those successes? So you've got several types of training. You've got a couple types of training. You've got your race schedule. So think about what you want to race this season, and then maybe next season, just long term, as long as you can think far out. Like if you have I want to do Ironman Texas in 2018. Well, if you already know that, go ahead and put that on your big picture plan. But this season, what do you want to do? So stick those races in there. And remember, you don't want to over race. Each race should have a purpose, even if it's just a rehearsal for the A race, like a 70.3 leading up to an Ironman. It should have a purpose. It shouldn't just be, just because it's there and I feel like I should race. It really needs to have a purpose. And like I said, think year to year as well. If I want to do an Ironman, but maybe I'm a beginner to the sport, maybe this year's not the year for that, but you could have that on your radar in the next couple of years. But you can work backwards from that. So what can I do this year to start preparing myself for that long-term goal, that success that I want to have to be an Ironman? So think about that. Be patient. Don't over race. All of those good things. And then after that, you've got to map out your training. So you got your successes. Then you got your races to be able to achieve those successes. Then we have the training. See how we're doing big picture to details. We've got your training to be able to get you ready for those races. So at Outrevel Racing, we called this a histogram. This really maps out and sort of gives us a blueprint for week to week what your load is going to look like and what is appropriate. Obviously, we tweak those as we go, how you're reacting, how your schedule is, and all that fun stuff. But it gives us a nice map for where to go. So I'll show you a little example of that. This is our deliverable to our client. And as you can see, the races are in there, and then we've got training in there as well with the various loads and types of training. So you got your speed work, you got your tempo, you got your endurance. This isn't the entire histogram, but it is a nice little snapshot example. And then this is kind of the bottom half that gives you a nice little bar and a bar chart, and then your distances. So that's what our histogram looks like. That helps us plan out your training. So it makes sense. Each week builds on the last. Each workout has a purpose, just like each race needs to have a purpose. It prevents you from riding and running, said number of miles just because everyone else is doing it. Oh, Joe is going out for a 100-mile ride, and I thought I might as well do that. Well, is that actually building towards your race that you have on the schedule that is long-term going to help you achieve those successes you've already mapped out? If not, well, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. If so, then great. If it falls in line with your training map, awesome. So once again, that's your big picture plan that helps you achieve those successes that you want to have. So step number 2, big picture plan. So the next, of course, is the fun part. It's the train. It's the training piece of the whole puzzle. So now you got to follow that plan and get to work. And really every coach will tell you, and us at Outrevel Racing included, will say consistency is key here. You've got to focus on the task at hand. Each day, each workout, each set within a workout, stay present. How am I feeling? How am I doing? Let's just focus on this right here, right now. If you start to think bigger, you get overwhelmed and you just kind of want to throw in the towel. Even if you can't get everything in that you're supposed to get in today, well, get in what you can. Just focus on each workout, each day, each set within a workout. Do your best to stay consistent, because the work that you're doing now pays off in results later. And so a little bit about the endurance training process, the science behind that, just kind of a quick snapshot. So through the endurance training process, we are So through the endurance training process, we are doing three main things. We are increasing the muscle cell capacity to store and oxidize carbohydrates and fats. So to use that energy that your body demands when you are taxing it in such an activity as a triathlon. Second, it increases the body's capacity to deliver oxygen to the muscle. So that oxygen that the muscle is demanding when you are, again, taxing it in a triathlon. And then third, it improves the durability of soft tissue to withstand repeat loading. So, durability, the better your durability, the better your injury resistance in most cases. So that is being achieved as well in the whole training process. So in other words, we are just getting you in peak shape to help you achieve all those goals and the successes that you want to have. So a little bit more about training. These are some of the principles that we coach to and really emphasize at Outrival Racing. You want to make the hard days hard, and you want to take the easy days easy. Don't become that one-pace athlete that can't push hard because they haven't actually taken their recovery days seriously. You just end up getting this one pace, one intensity sort of thing. So make hard days hard, take the easy days easy. And then all of this you want to do while keeping in mind rest, recovery, and nutrition are key. And these little things, like foam rolling, stretching, icing, recovery drinks, they make the difference in the end of getting to the start line healthy or not getting there at all. So really keep those in mind. So our fourth piece of the puzzle is race day execution, of course. That's the fun part. So at Outrival Racing, we say race execution is made up of proper pacing and proper nutrition, plus there's this mental component that we will address here on the next step. So have a race plan. If you're working with a coach, they'll likely give you a race plan, and you want to follow that to a T. You want to learn it, memorize it, commit to it, and don't deviate, because you're trained to a certain ability. And so if you over-race, over-pace, then you are going beyond that ability, and your body's not used to that, and you're going to cause all sorts of not-so-fun issues. So stick to the plan. And then, likewise, the fueling plan. You got to have a bite-by-bite and sip-by-sip plan, especially if you're going long course. A lot of our athletes get fueling plans done by the Core Diet. They're one of our other businesses, and they're just great. They are, like I said, they're bite-by-bite, sip-by-sip. There's no guesswork in it, and it really allows you to achieve the race that you're capable of putting out. And again, you want to learn it, memorize it, commit to it. Don't deviate. And so lastly, like I said, we've got the mental component. This applies both in training and on race day. I mean, an athlete can be 100% physically ready and done all of the above in the training and the racing plan with extreme precision and still not achieve that success they strive for. I have seen it time and time again. And really, when I step back and think about it, a lot of times it's the ability to block out the distractions and to focus that really sets apart the just average athlete from the stellar athletes. I think it applies in both the age group ranks and the pro ranks as well. Without that ability, you're just not going to ever achieve what you really have the ability to achieve. So, like I said, focus. Focus on your own fitness. Focus on your own race, your own ability, and your own thoughts. You don't want to get caught up in that, oh, who's racing? Look how fit they are. Oh my gosh, I'm not that fit. They look so good right now, and I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what their build-up looked like. I wonder if it was the same as mine. I mean, you stir up all of this nonsense. It's just distracting you from the task at hand. You don't need that. So just focus. Laser focus on the only controllable factors, which is your fitness, your race pacing, your fueling, and your mental game. If you block out all the noise, you will perform to your best ability. So that is the final component. You do all of the above, and you will be a successful triathlete. If you have any questions, you can reach me, Sarah at outrivalracing.com. Thanks for listening.